Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Donnie Darko by Richard Kelly. This is a film that came out in my early teens, and for some stupid reason I avoided watching it. Probably because it looked a little too dark for me at the time. Over the years, however, I've been recommended it many times and I'm finally getting around to watching it. I don't believe I've heard of the director Richard Kelly before. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's done with the film to make it a cult classic. I know Jake Gyllenhaal is starring in it, and I've also been told to look forward to a couple of smaller roles by now popular actors, just like Travolta and Carey. I also know it's some sort of a horror or thriller film. That's about it. Before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reactions, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy of the film to watch along, of course. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Donnie Darko, Kelly, Gyllenhaal. Let's go. The film starts with thunderstorm noises and an ambient tone. Just to note, I'm watching the director's cut because that's the only copy I could get my hands on. I don't know which cut is better, but the director's cut is longer, so I hope it's good. Jake Gyllenhaal, early in his career. He looks barely 20. The color grading is distinctively dark, even though we know that it's a lush green in the background. Donnie Darko. Okay, it looks like he literally just woke up, and he's not even wearing any shoes. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jake's actual sister. Didn't expect her to be in the film. Holy crap, Maggie Gyllenhaal looks young too.
Anyway, I'm not gonna squeeze one out till I'm like 30.
Will you still be working at the yarn barn? Because I hear that's a really great place to raise children.
They're siblings in the film too, okay.
You can go suck a fuck.
Oh, please tell me, Elizabeth, how exactly does one suck a fuck?
Interesting family dynamic.
Where do you go at night?
Looks like he's a loner. That means it has to be 1988. Oh, there we go. It's 88.
Wake up.
I really like this macro shot.
I've been watching you.
Oh, he's hearing voices. I think he might be sleepwalking. The sound design is interesting so far. I can't really put a finger on it yet. What now?
28 days, 6 hours. That is when the world will end.
I'm just trying to connect the dots here. What just happened? There was a premonition about the world ending. I don't know whether that weird rabbit man was real or not, but I recognize him from the poster at the back. There must have been some sort of explosion because I can hear cars from outside the neighborhood too.
Son, Donnie Darko?
Hey, it's Patrick Swayze! What a fantastic actor. Oh, 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes and 12 seconds. It's written on his hand.
Said don't leave my house.
It's a plane crash, which fell directly into Donnie's room while he was away. I have to assume that engine was meant for Donnie and somehow he avoided it.
They don't know where it came from.
There was no plane? Just the engine fell out of the sky? That engine probably has some significance.
Then what happened to the plane?
Great question, little girl.
They don't know, Samantha.
This film is using a lot more proper songs than an actual score till now. Drew Barrymore and Patrick Swayze in the same scene. The first Drew Barrymore film I've seen is E.T.
That the children find a great deal of money in the mattress, but they burn it. Donnie Darko, you can give us your opinion.
Destruction is a form of creation, so the fact that they burn the money is ironic.
Where do I sit? Sit next to the boy you think is the cutest.
Dad! Oh!
No mail today, maybe tomorrow.
Whatever he said clearly affected Donnie.
What did Frank say?
Then he said that the world was coming to an end.
Do you think the world is coming to an end?
Frank was the rabbit man.
That's stupid.
So campy. I love it.
Fear.
That's Swayze, man. Seth Rogen! And he's probably just a background character since it's 2001 and he didn't get his break till Superbad. And I'm wondering what's the purpose of this imagery. What? This is the second time this is happening.
The school is closed today because it's flooded. No way.
Wait a second. It was Donnie who's responsible while sleepwalking because he had the axe and he was breaking into some pipe.
How did this happen?
They made me do it. This unknown entity somehow getting control of Donnie's mind while he's sleeping. I'd never imagined Seth Rogen playing somebody creepy.
I like your boobs.
Do you want to walk me home?
So, why'd you move here?
My parents got a divorce.
I want to be a writer, or maybe a painter, I don't know, maybe both.
So Donnie has some history too.
Donnie Darko. What the hell kind of name is that? It's like some sort of superhero or something.
What makes you think I'm not?
Smooth.
You want to go with me?
You can see the lack of confidence in Donnie's body language. He's hunched over.
Going together.
Sure. I'd like to hear about your friend Frank.
Oh no. He was almost going for it. Oh, they're trying to match the handwriting.
Fucks all the other Smurfs. Why do you think Papa Smurf made her? It's because all the other Smurfs were getting too hard.
What?
Well, what about Papa Smurf? I mean, he must get into the action. Yeah, what he does?
This is the weirdest conversation.
She does the same thing every day. Just walks back and forth.
There has to be some sort of significance to this. Although he has a couple of friends, he seems very alone. The editing is pretty average. I'm not complaining. The cinematography is a little better than that, because the framing of the shots is pretty decent.
I have in my hand Graham Greene's The Destructors.
What? Some sort of force field.
I can do anything I want.
Why do you make me flood the school?
He knows he did it.
Where did you come from?
Do you believe in time travel?
Time travel.
Who are you talking to?
Ling Ling finds a wallet on the ground filled with money. She takes the wallet to the address on the driver's license but keeps the money inside the wallet. Who cares if Ling Ling returns the wallet and keeps the money? Has nothing to do with either fear or love.
Oh, just because they're talking about the lifeline, it could also mean the actual timeline. It's not that simple.
You can't just lump everything into these two categories and then just deny everything else.
If you don't complete the assignment, you'll get a 0 for the day. He asked me to forcibly insert the lifeline exercise card into my anus.
I'm sorry. It's funny though.
I urge you to go home and look in the mirror and pray that your son doesn't succumb to the path of fear.
Another 4 days have passed. I really like these cue cards showing the passage of time instead of just a average transition. Tarantino uses it a lot too.
Do you know anything about time travel?
Ooh, Einstein-Rosen bridge. A Brief History of Time. I've read this book. It's fantastic.
Up and left the church, he wrote this book.
Is that Noah Taylor? He's also a pretty good actor. I've seen him in Pirates of the Silicon Valley. Must be the ex-teacher who wrote the book. Roberta Sparrow! She wrote the book. The Tangent Universe. I have a feeling this is an alternate timeline which started the moment Donnie left his house and the engine fell on his room. So Donnie's living on borrowed time and that's why he has a timer on him. 20 days left.
Do you feel alone right now?
It is if everyone dies alone.
Probably.
I don't want to be alone.
I don't think most people do want to be alone. I like how Donnie's separated from everybody else by sitting further away from everybody else.
Well, we gotta make sure we don't miss that one, huh?
What was that? That thing is predicting his movements. The visual effects here are okay, but I get what it's trying to show us. I think Jake Gyllenhaal developed his creepy smile from this movie because it's the exact same smile he uses in Nightcrawler, which is probably my favorite film he made. And I just noticed he found a gun.
You want to kiss me?
I get that. She just wasn't comfortable. It's Frank.
Donnie's aggressive behavior, his increased detachment from reality. Has he ever told you about his friend Frank? Donnie is experiencing what is commonly called a daylight hallucination.
Look at that smile on his face. Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor, and he was at even the beginning of his career. The manipulated living, oblivion. And that's what's happening to Donnie. So the chapters in the book are real, and they're a reflection of what Donnie's going through, and probably a prediction of what's going to happen too.
His name was Frank.
Too many coincidences for this Frank to be a figment of his imagination.
What do I do to learn how to fight?
Violence is a product of fear.
How much are they paying you to be here?
Ho!
You know what? No one ever knows what they want to be when they grow up. You know, it takes a little while to find that out, right, Jim?
I don't know how to feel about this.
But I believe you are a very troubled and confused young man.
I think you're fucking Antichrist.
Oh! His behavior is becoming increasingly erratic.
Send her a letter.
Is it the engine? The artifact? Which came from a different dimension because there was no plane. Living receiver. Yeah, I think my theory holds. The fact that this is a tangent universe. He found Cunningham's wallet.
Didn't your dad, like, stab your mom?
Unnecessary.
Two for Evil Dead, please.
Oh, $2.
Evil Dead! I've been recommended this movie many times in the past couple of weeks by my patrons. You know who you are. I'm going to watch it soon. Oh no. Oh my god, that scared me. That was so subtly done. I appreciate that.
Why you wear that stupid funny suit?
And every time they're interacting, he has this creepy smile on his face.
Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?
What a response. I strongly believe the engine fell out of a portal like this from the sky.
Burn it to the ground.
Burn it to the ground. He just left Gretchen in the movie theater alone. Completely contrasting scenes. This is crazy. He lit the house on fire. Gretchen had no idea he left and did that. Manipulated dead. And there's no description for this.
Vehemently denied the alleged link to a child
Guy?
pornography publishing circuit.
6 days remaining. She's going to lose her mind over the Cunningham revelation because she really looked up to him.
About a kiddie porn dungeon.
Oh, please, please, don't use those words.
Elizabeth will be in charge. And if you need anything, you promise me that you will call Dr. Thurman.
This scene almost feels like it's a goodbye between Donnie and his mother.
Please do not let Mom go. You're gonna miss your plane.
Oh.
What else makes you feel regret?
He's under hypnosis.
Then I did it again. I flooded my school and I burned down that pervert's house.
Did Frank tell you to do these things?
I have to obey him. He saved my life. I can see him right now!
Wow, we're seeing both sides of his personality shine because he's laughing and then he's crying and he's laughing again. Oh my goodness. 1 day remains. Yeah, small Halloween party of all mankind. So it's implied that Darko is responsible for the survival of mankind somehow. I'm not sure.
Okay. It's my fucking stepdad. I know it.
I think I changed my mind on the cinematography. It's better than average. The editing is okay, but the cinematography is better than average. 6 hours. clear reflection of the state of his mind. And he's being compelled to follow whatever this is.
Nobody's here. Let's just forget about it.
Oh man, that jump scare really worked on me. Oh, it's Seth Rogen and the other racist kid.
Get behind!
Did the car just run over Gretchen? Frank. Is Frank an actual person? What? He is! We saw Frank, but he had his one of his eyes removed.
What were you guys doing in the middle of the road, huh?
It can't be Frank. That's how he gets his eye removed. One of the most psychologically twisted films I've ever seen. It's the vortex, the portal. I wonder if other people can see it too or not. I think he's coming to the realization that this is soon going to be over. And the plane, we finally get to see the plane. The mother and the sister, they're inside the plane. So it is a time loop. Because this is what caused Donnie to be in this situation in the first place. Damn. Things are rewinding. The tangent in time is somehow reverting back to the place it started. Oh my goodness. We're back. But this time around, Donnie's in his room. Oh no. Wow. This is what was meant to happen in the first place. Donnie Darko is dead. Or he was already predetermined to be dead. Chapter 12, Dreams. So the people around Donnie are somehow cosmically consciously aware of what might have happened. That's Frank. So the whole film can be interpreted as a what-if situation. I don't know, she feels like a subconscious connection. It's almost as if they know each other. What a surreal movie. Okay, so I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a complex film with a lot to unpack. I don't know how much I got from my first viewing. I think I might need to rewatch it, paying more attention to the story. However, I'll try to talk about what I did understand so far though. Richard Kelly structured this story in a very interesting and fractured way. We start the film off by the introduction of Donnie Darko, a seemingly disturbed teenager who sleepwalks at the behest of a mysterious man in a creepy rabbit costume. While he was out of the house, a plane engine falls in his bedroom out of nowhere. It's subtly implied that a new tangent in space-time is formed since there was no sign of a plane from which the engine fell in the first place. The journey of this starts the journey of Donnie and the rabbit man who calls himself Frank. I'm going to refer to him as Rabbit Frank or Frank Rabbit, since there is another Frank in the film who I believe is not necessarily the same person. Donnie keeps seeing visions of Rabbit Frank, who in turn influences him to commit somewhat increasingly violent acts like flooding the school and burning down the pedophile Cunningham's house. I'm still unclear as to why Rabbit Frank makes Donnie do these very specific things, but I don't think Donnie is fully conscious when he commits these crimes. He has a very unusually creepy smile on his face when he's under the influence of Frank Rabbit. There is a time loop or a time tangent and element to the events occurring in this film, as evidenced by the vortex appearing at the beginning and the end of the film, almost like a bookend to the timeline. I wonder if Donnie knew what was about to happen to him as the engine fell on him at the end. I wonder whether it was suicide, realizing that he's in the wrong timeline, or just happened the way it was meant to happen in the first place. This ending really has me thinking, and I need to rewatch it for it to make more sense. The film was directed and written by Richard Kelly, who's a very competent director for the most part. I believe he was a better writer than director though. He tended to use a minimal score with a lot of music. His directorial style was far from unique, and I wouldn't consider it the highlight of the film. It's interesting. It's the interesting writing and the visual metaphors used that really captured my imagination and my attention and kept my brain busy throughout. I would like to ask you guys the significance of the repeated flashbacks shown, since I don't believe I understood that completely. Moving on to the cinematography and editing of the film, the editing was okay, no crazy cuts except a jump scare here and there, which were well done, especially when Frank Rabbit arrives out of nowhere. The cinematography, on the other hand, grew on me as the film went on. I wasn't the biggest fan at the beginning, but the film used a very subdued color palette intentionally, which didn't sit well with me at first. But by the end, I have to agree with the fact that it was a perfect choice for reflecting the deteriorating state of Donnie's mind and the people around him. The music in this film was good, but not particularly memorable, except the end. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. I'm saying the score could have been improved on a bit by adding to the beautifully dark atmosphere. Starting from Never Tear Us Apart, which has an upbeat rock tone to it, all the way to Gary Jules's Mad World, which is a song I've been listening to for more than 15 years. The line, "The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had," made more sense in these 2 hours than it did in the 15 plus years I've been listening to it. Let's talk about the CGI effects and the set design. All three were better than average, but not outstanding. The water effects CGI could have been done better, I believe. The Abyss, which came out over a decade ago, had better water CGI. But I have to consider the budget difference between this film and Cameron's. That's why I'm not going to go as far as to say it was bad. It was competent. The set design was also pretty good too, with the props and costumes being the highlight of the bunch. Frank Rabbit's costume and creepy tone was very well done. It was very good overall. Jake Gyllenhaal's breakout performance as Donnie Darko was layered. There was a certain maturity in his performance, almost like he was playing two roles. One when he's under Frank Rabbit's influence with the sinister smile, and the other in public as he slowly loses his mind. Both were great to watch. I could see a lot of Donnie Darko's influence in Gyllenhaal's later performances, especially in Nightcrawler, which is probably my favorite film starring Gyllenhaal. James Duvall played Frank Rabbit and Frank the Real Person. I still don't understand how exactly they're connected, despite being shown how he got the missing eye. I have a strong feeling that they might be the same person, but from different timelines. I wonder what the significance of that is. Duvall's performance was hidden most of the time by the mask, but his voice work was exceedingly cold and creepy. I was mesmerized every time I heard the voice, which was layered on top of a synthesizer. There were smaller roles by now big actors in this film, including Maggie Gyllenhaal as Elizabeth Darko, Donnie's sister, Patrick Swayze, who's already a big actor, as Jim Cunningham, the motivational speaker with the big secret, Seth Rogen as a bully, Noah Weil and Drew Barrymore as the teachers in the school. All of them had small but critical roles to play in Donnie's life and the alternative narrative being presented to us. I'm not sure how much we should take at face value and how much we should attribute to the tangent timeline. For my first viewing, the only criticism I have is probably with myself, not being able to comprehend the entire scope of the story the first time around. I don't think I should blame the director for this though, as I think it was his intention to make the audience think about alternate timelines, dimensions, and time travel. Stuff like this is not very easy to comprehend, and he did do a competent job in presenting us with his vision. Kelly's writing skills far surpasses directorial ones though. Overall, I feel like this review is a little incomplete. Next time I'm in a position like this, I'll take another day to rewatch the film and then write the review. From what I understood, if I'm correct, I really enjoyed this film and I cannot wait for the inevitable rewatch soon. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron, subscribe to the channel, like if you like this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.